morning. Kevin Miller, Best Line Equipment and Powersports. We're going to talk about differences between the Polaris Snowmobiles today. It can be very confusing to some customers. It's not easy. There are a lot of models that Polaris offers, and there's basically two lines, and we're going to go over those lines so everybody's on the same page. Before I do that, I want to give you a little background on Best Line Powersports. We have three locations. We have Best Line Powersports Muncy, which is this location. We have Best Line Powersports Center Hall, Pennsylvania, and we have Hernley's Indy Polaris down in Elizabethtown. These stores up in the mid part of the state, central part of the state, only have the snowmobiles. So Best Line Powersports Muncy, Best Line Powersports Center Hall offer the Polaris snowmobile line. Hernley's does not offer that. A little background on myself. I've been riding snowmobiles since I was 5 years old. Two of my uncles were Polaris dealers in the past, so it's not my first day to snowmobiling. I'm 56 years old right now, so I've been riding since I was 5. Been turning wrenches on them since I was 10. So I know what I'm talking about, and I try to keep up on things just so you can be that professional and be able to explain the differences between the sleds. So let's go over here to this sled right here, okay? This snowmobile is a Switchback XC 146. We're going to talk about the differences between the XC line and the Assault line or the VR1 line. Every year, spring order, usually start of March to a certain date, Polaris has what they call snow check. And you can snow check certain models. Now, these models, some of them are exclusive to the snow check program. Yes, you can snow check Assaults, VR1s, XCRs, and you can snow check the XC setting here. But some of them and some options are particular to the snow check program. So you have to remember that. We're going to go over this. This is an XC Switchback 146 setting here. We're going to compare this to the Assault, which the Assault, by the way, is snow check spring order only. All right. These are ordering units from the customer where you can order them as a snow check to get the program. So during snow check, you might get a 3-year or 4-year program on the warranty. That's one of the benefits of spring order. You can order this model and the Assault during snow check. This model specifically here, it would be a stocking unit to one of the Polaris dealers. So these are our stocking units. Basically, this XC is the exact same sled as an Assault with some minor differences, which I'm going to cover. So everybody's on the same page here. The first thing is the rear suspension is the same. The front suspension is the same with the exception of the shocks, which I'm going to talk about. This is an IGX 146 skid. So this suspension on the Assaults, it's a 50-50 crossover. It's designed 50% on trail, 50% off trail. It does it very well too. I've owned several Assaults. This snowmobile is designed to crawl up on top of snow, deep snow, and it does that very well. To tackle the trail series with this suspension, right here back, this rail is tilted up 2.8 degrees. So when you're riding this snowmobile on a hard packed, it acts more like a trail machine, a trail sled. When you're out in the deep snow, you have the extra flotation of the 146 length. Okay, so the differences between the Assault, which is snow check only, right, is 7S display comes standard. On the Assault, on the XC, that you have to pay for that extra. It is not standard equipment. It comes with a standard gauge. So that's one of the differences. Colors. On the Assault, you get 5 different colors, okay? On the XC, you get 3 colors. I'm talking base colors. You can change your tunnel colors and things like that, but I'm talking base colors. Another thing, shocks. On the XC, you get the Fox QS3 shocks. All right, exceptional shock, which I'm going to talk in more detail about. On the Assault, you get the Walker Evans Velocity 2.0s. And the difference is, if you are a guy who likes to be tweaking your settings a lot, you might want the Assault because it has like 10 clicks. If you want simplicity, you want the Fox QS3 shocks. They are simple. You have 3 settings, 1, 2, 3. Number 1 is a standard compression shock. If you flip it to number 2, it's 20% increase. If you flip it to number 3, it's 80% increase. The difference is, though, they only have a 1/2-inch shock rod, where the Walker Evans has a 5/8. Other differences, track options. So on an Assault, spring order only, you get 4 track options. You can either pick a 1.352, you can get a 1.5 Ice Storm, which is a 1.5 lug with the studs built into the lugs from the factory. You can get a 1.6 Cobra, or you can get a 2-inch. On the XC line, this one here, you have 2 track options, a 1.352 Cobra, or you have a 1.6 Cobra. One other thing that people overlooked this year, and it was specific to model year 24, this headlight is totally different than what it used to be. This headlight is a new LED headlight on the XC line. On the VR1, on the XCR, on the Assault, the spring order onlys, they come with the night blade headlight. So this headlight is different for this year on the XCs. Last year, they had the same night blade. Okay, next up, XC line, which is basically the brother to the VR1s, all right? 129 length and 137 lengths. Great machines, but they are different than the VR1. The VR1 is specific to snow check onlys, all right? And when I get to this in details with these, we're going to talk about engine options, and then I will refer back to the XC Switchback too, because it also applies to the Assault. So these here are the same difference as the XC for the Assault versus the XC Switchback. The 7S display is not standard equipment on this one. You have to pay for this extra. It comes with the standard gauge during snow check, or a factory option for us dealers. Color options, again, the VR1 comes with 5 color options. The XC comes with 3 color options. Same as the shocks. The VR1 comes with the Velocity Walker Evans 2.0s. The XC comes with the QS3 Fox. All right, same deal. Track options. On the VR1 line and the XC line, it's pretty much the same across the board. So you can get an Ice Ripper 1.25 track, which has the studs and the lugs from the factory. You can get a 1.352 Cobra, and you can get a 1.5 Storm, okay? Not an Ice Storm, it's just a standard Storm, all right, 1.5. Same LED headlight. The VR1 would come with the blade headlight. Same with the XCR. Now, I will say this, some people don't get this confused. When you buy an XCR or snow check an XCR, because XCR is a snow check too in the spring, you do not get this 7S display with that one. You would have to build that into your build. All right, it comes with a standard gauge stock on the XCR. Now let's talk about engine choices. And this is across the board for the most part. So we're gonna talk about the VR1 line and the Assault line first. So if you buy a spring order, a VR1 or an Assault, there's 3 engines you can get. You can get a 650 Patriot 2-stroke, an 850 Patriot 2-stroke, or you can get the 850 boost motor, which is the 850 turbocharged. If you get the XC line, you get 3 engine choices too. However, you cannot get the boost in the XC line. It's a 650 Patriot or an 850 Patriot, and here we go, the all-new ProStar S4 4-stroke engine. It is a 999cc 4-stroke, very good engine. It sort of moved over from the Razor Ranger line. However, it was fitted for the application for snowmobiles. It has a dry sump. There's 2 reasons for that. Better cold weather starting, so the oil is actually contained in a container that mounts on top of the belt, the clutch guard, and it allows the engineers to place the engine lower in the chassis to keep the lower center of gravity, which is what the Matrix stands out with the handling. Okay, so the Matrix is an outstanding machine for handling, and they wanted to keep that when they put the 4-stroke in it. The 4-stroke also has a drive-by-wire throttle. Very easy, long days of riding it. Your thumb won't get tired. It has 3 ride modes, which has Eco mode, Standard mode, and Sport mode. Also has a P22 primary clutch, which is the Boost has the same clutch system and allows the belt tension to stay tight all the time, so you don't have to worry about belt tension. It's a great for a lack of maintenance. If you want something to go out and ride, you don't have to maintain so much. You don't have to put 2-stroke oil in it. It's a great engine package. The XCR. You cannot get a boost in that. So the XCR, if you snow check an XCR, it simply comes with a 650 Patriot or an 850 Patriot. Next machine. This is the Adventure series. Now, it's not something new. All these chassis are identical, with the exception of the rear skids and stuff like that. But these machines are for high mileage riders. It's called the Adventure series. And last year, the Adventure series for 23, They had an Adventure and then an Adventure X2. So the Adventure had all the goodies. The Adventure X2 had the 2-up seat, the footrest, and the Adventure bag. This year, Polaris did away with that. Every Adventure comes with the standard 2-up seat with the heated passenger grips, the Adventure bag, the short one, right, the small one because the big one won't fit behind the seat, and the passenger floorboards, right, which keep your feet elevated. All standard equipment. I think the reason they did that, it's pretty simple to understand. I can have all this off in about 30 seconds, and I can convert this to a single passenger snowmobile. Now the Adventures come standard with the bigger windshield, 7S display, mirrors, RCA plug for your heated helmet, and then the 2-up seat heated grips and the passenger backrest in the bag. Now this model comes in a 650 Patriot or the S4 4-stroke, okay, the ProStar S4. If you get a 650, it's the same track options as this. You can get an Ice Ripper, you can get a 1352 Cobra, or a 1.5 Storm. Any 4-stroke, the ProStar S4 4-stroke, whether it be in the XC line or whether in the Adventure line or the Voyager line or wherever they put it, okay, it comes with the track options of a 1-inch Ripsaw 2 or a 1352 Cobra. I personally just bought one of these. I'm at the point in my life I want to slow down a little bit and just enjoy the ride. So I'm going to try one this year. I bought a leftover 23 we have. So I'm sort of anxious to get on and ride it on the 4-strokes. The big question that we always get, horsepower. Polaris does not publish horsepower ratings. Now I'm going by past experience and doing some research. From what I can tell from reading, the new ProStar S4, between 90 and 100 horsepower, okay, naturally aspirated, so 95 horsepower, it's pretty simple to figure out. The 650 Patriot, again, research 135-ish horsepower, somewhere in there, which is pretty outstanding. And then the 850 Patriot, about 170-ish. And then the Boost Turbo 850 is about 190-ish. Could be a little more, somewhere in that range. You know, and that's, you know, everybody argues that could be different, any different dyno, whatever. You know, everybody says, why should I buy a Polaris? What's the differences? Why, you know, what sets them apart? My opinion, because this is my opinion only, right? Yes, I'm a Polaris guy. They all make great sleds. Skidoo, Arctic Cat, they all make great sleds. You can't buy a bad sled today. But it's personal preference for the most part. So I'm not going to stand here and say this is 100% correct. This is my feelings. But the accessibility of maintenance on a Polaris is outstanding. All right? The benchmark 7S display, by far, in my opinion, is the best in the market. The best thing that you're going to find on a Polaris snowmobile, in my opinion, has to be the handling. The matrix is outstanding. The handling is just unbelievable. I have a 22 XCR and I can't believe that is the flattest cornering, best handling snowmobile I've ever been on. Where you point it is where it goes. They just stick in the corners. They take the bumps. They're just outstanding. And again, this is my personal preference, but I do also have a Titan, okay, which is the Cadillac, so nothing rides like a Titan. But when it comes to ride, and people don't understand, so this is a fully coupled suspension right here. This is fully coupled, that is, the VR1s are, the XCRs. That is not a fully coupled suspension. The XC 146 or the Assault is semi-coupled, all right? They're designed to crawl up on top of the snow. These are not. These, basically the easiest way to explain this is the front torque arm and the rear torque arm talk to each other. They're linked. There's two bars that tie them together. So essentially what happens is when this front suspension, this torque arm collapses, at a predetermined rate, it starts to collapse the back arm, which the theory is it only hits the bump one time. Same in return as if you do a whole shot off the line, or the best example is you're riding fast on the trail, you're coming out of a sharp corner and you're nailing it. What happens is the sled will sag at the back, and when it sags, you lose your your handling, okay, your steering. So with the fully coupled suspension, when that arm starts to collapse at the back, it collapses the front arm at a predetermined rate. And what that does, by collapsing the front track arm, it keeps the front end of the skis on the ground. And you can adjust that with the Polaris with the scissor stops on there. Okay, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please call one of our sales associates either at Best Line Powersports Muncy, Best Line Powersports Center Hall, If they can't get you an answer, you ask for me. I will get you an answer, all right? Sometimes they don't know quite as much as I do because I'm that sledhead, right? I'm that diehard. So thank you for watching. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you need anything, bestlinepowersports.com or give us a call. Thank you.